Welcome! Today we're diving into one of the most practical and honestly powerful ways you can use ChatGPT, totally upgrading your job search. So, in our last explainer, we got into how to use ChatGPT for content ideas, scripts, social media posts. Now, we're going to take those exact skills and apply them to something that's a huge deal, landing your next job. We're talking resumes, cover letters, and even interview prep. Okay, let's get right into it. If you've ever just sat there staring at a blank page, feeling completely stuck on how to describe what you do, well, you know the feeling. We're going to look at ChatGPT as a tool to get you from that stuck feeling to feeling way more confident. And look at this. This slide says it all. On the left, you've got that typical kind of weak bullet point, responsible for answering customer emails. It's okay, but it doesn't pop. Now look at the right, the ChatGPT assisted version, resolved over 50 customer inquiries daily, improving team response time by 15%. See that? Same job, totally different impact. And that right there, that's the whole goal today. We are not here to make things up. The goal is to use this tool to communicate your actual experience, just better. It's all about getting clear and confident about what you've already done. So this part is absolutely crucial, getting the mindset right. The wrong way to do this is to ask the AI to invent achievements or fake numbers. That's a huge red flag. The right way is to use it to find stronger words, a better structure, and a clearer way to talk about your authentic experience. It's about improving your story, not faking it. All right, so let's put that mindset into practice with our first big task, sharpening up that resume. This is where we stop listing duties and start telling a story of real impact. So many people start right here with a prompt like this, but it's just way too generic, too broad. It practically invites the AI to invent stuff because it has no context to work with. And this is how you end up with those robotic, kind of unbelievable resumes nobody wants. A much better approach has 4 key ingredients. First, you gotta tell it the target role you're applying for. Second, you give it your real bullet points to start with. Third, you specifically ask for stronger, more achievement-focused language. And last, the most important part, you add a crystal clear no invention rule. Here is a perfect example you can literally copy and paste. Just look how specific that is. It gives a role, a clear command, and that crucial safety net at the end. This prompt gives ChatGPT the right guardrails so the output is both useful and, true. So why does this work so well? Because for most of us, the problem isn't a lack of good experience. The problem is weak wording that just doesn't do justice to that experience. ChatGPT is fantastic at solving that specific problem, translating what you did into the language of impact. All right, our resume is looking sharp. Now let's tackle the next big hurdle, the cover letter. The whole goal here is to move away from those generic templates that every hiring manager has seen a million times and create something that actually sounds like you. I mean, just look at this slide. On the left, you get that generic, bland stuff. I am a hardworking professional excited about this opportunity. Yawn. Now compare that to the targeted version on the right. My social media management experience directly aligns with the community engagement skills you're looking for. See? One is totally forgettable. The other is compelling. And the right prompt is everything. Again, notice all the specifics. You're asking it to keep it genuine. You give it a word count. And, this is a great one, you ask it to preserve my voice. You're not asking for a generic letter. You're asking for help crafting your letter. Now for the third key area, which might be the biggest game changer of all, interview prep. This is where we use ChatGPT to stop just passively reading advice and start actively practicing our answers. The whole process is this simple, really powerful loop. The AI acts as your interviewer and asks the question. You give your real answer. It gives you feedback on what was strong and what could be better. Then you refine your answer. This is active practice, and let me tell you, it's a game changer for building real confidence. So, you want to try that loop? Here's the prompt that makes it happen. It sets the stage perfectly. You define the role for the AI, you ask for questions one by one, and, this is the magic part, you ask for specific, constructive feedback after every single answer. It's like having an interview coach on demand 24/7. And here's a pro tip. Always start with your own authentic answer first. Just type out what you would normally say, then ask ChatGPT to help you make it better. This way, the final version is still you, your story, your words, just a whole lot sharper and more structured. Okay, so let's pull all this together into a simple toolkit you can start using right away. We'll also quickly cover a few common traps you'll want to avoid. This is the formula to remember for pretty much any career task. It's just 4 simple steps. Always give it the target role, always base it on your real experience, tell it what kind of output you want, like resume bullets or interview feedback, and always include that no invention rule. And finally, here are the big mistakes people make: using those generic prompts, sending out generic cover letters, or memorizing answers that sound like they came from a robot. But notice something. The fix for every single one of these is exactly what we've been talking about: provide context and ground everything in your real, authentic experience. Okay, let's wrap this all up with how you can take your next career step using these new tools. So in this explainer, we covered 3 huge career tasks: how to seriously improve your resume, how to draft stronger, more genuine cover letters, and how to actively practice for interviews to build that real, unshakable confidence. And hey, we are not stopping here. In our next explainer, we're going to shift from finding a job to excelling at work. We'll get into how to use ChatGPT for business, freelancing, and client projects, all to help you plan, communicate, and deliver your work more professionally. Ready for that? The link to the next explainer is right there in the description for you. But before you go, just do one thing for me. Grab one of the prompts from today, plug in your own experience, and just see what happens. I think you'll be pretty surprised at how much stronger your story already is.